Yeah, Dwayne, this is not my show. This is Mario's show, and you're his
Yeah,
guest today.
Dwayne, that's purely a rib, man. That is purely a rib. It's his show, man.
It's nice to
Purely
have
a rib.
someone. It's nice to have someone on board though, because we talked about doing this before. Because me and Mario do a monthly show, and it's nice. It's nice, I think, to get Mario on with someone else. And the first two guests that we've had on is he's gone now. But anyway, we'll continue. We'll continue while we're waiting for Mario. Just said the first two guests obviously is Gilberg today, who you haven't met before,
Never.
and then we had Randy Hogan, and it was the same as well.
Right. Yeah. So I'm getting a charge meeting these guys, man, because I've certainly seen them and I've heard a lot about them. So
yeah, we'll get them back in a moment. But look, are you still on the high from Vice TV last week?
Yeah, man. Listen. I can't stop watching that 8 seconds. I just can't. I mean, I slow motion. I just can't. Yeah, high. I'm flying high, brother.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So look, we're gonna chat to Dwayne Gill today, that people will know as Gilberg when we get him back on here. And like you and him, like we're just saying that you've never met, but he was kind of doing enhancement talent stuff back in the late 80s, early 90s as well, and you guys never met, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, well, by between 89, 91, 92, it really got a lot bigger. And there were a lot of guys in the dressing room. I listen, I didn't make every single TV. You know what I mean? Vince started getting cheap. Like when he first left Poughkeepsie. No, I'm serious. When he first left Poughkeepsie and he decided to take TV taping on the road, I went everywhere. I went to California, Ohio, I went to Vegas, I went to St. Louis, I went to Chicago. I went everywhere. Along with house shows, I went everywhere. But what they started to do with TV, by that time, 89, 90, 91, they started using local guys. Why are they going to fly in a jobber, to when they can just use local guys there? You don't have to spend a plane ticket on Mancini. You know what I mean? Just, keep them home.
Yeah.
I always said, listen, if you want to put somebody out there that's not going to do as well as I do, that's fine. Go ahead. I don't care. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Go ahead. But, that's why you see in 1990, even the Taker debut match that was in Rochester, New York, right? I'm driving in my car and I'm going.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, they started getting a little cheap. So I don't know. I hope he comes back though, because I really
we have nothing prepared for each other anyway if he doesn't come back.
Live. Well, that's really that's real easy, man. That's real easy if he doesn't come back. You know what I mean? Because I was just talking to you about an hour ago.
Yeah.
And I love our guys at Sportskeeda. You know what I mean? I love those guys. Those guys help us a lot. You know what I mean?
Big ups to my man Danny.
I have respect for him, but damn, do they know how to gas people up, man? I told that story like a friend came to me and asked me to do a favor. They got it on Hercules. Hernandez cheats on his, Jesus. But
Dwayne, welcome back.
Dwayne, glad you're back, Dwayne.
Sorry about that, brother.
It's all right, man.
Hey, was Hercules a great guy or what, man?
Ray was the best, man.
Oh my God. It was unbelievable. Looked like he ripped your head off and was one of the kindest men.
Yeah, he was. I just didn't like the way he say hello to me all the time. You know what I mean? And there were a couple of times I thought he changed, and I said, "Oh, wow, he really listened to me. He's not going to do it anymore." Because he'd come up to me and hug me and say hello, and then he'd give me a huge whack on the back and go, "How you doing?" I mean, hard.
Yeah. You'd be like,
Ray, son of a bitch.
Yes, sir.
And he'd be coming toward me. I go, Ray, I want to hug you. Don't. No, brother. No.
Yeah, but if he didn't do that, he didn't like you, brother.
Yeah.
You know that as well as I do, man. He was man.
Yeah.
I cried so hard when he died.
Yeah, me too. And forget it. But my closest friend is Roma. We run Paradise Alley Pro Wrestling together. I've been close to Roma for 38 years. That was his tag team partner. He was wrecked.
Yeah, Roma. He was a hell of a guy too, man. He was all of us.
Yeah. So Dwayne, it feels strange. I've been through this with Big Daddy too, by the way, which it's hard to talk to Big Daddy about this stuff because he gets mad at me. But we were in a Westchester County Center in 1999 on a house show for an independent, and we were in the same building at the same show, and we didn't cross paths. And Big Daddy and I are close, and we just didn't see each other. And he's like, "How can this happen? How can this happen?" But I go, "Big Daddy, I didn't see you. You didn't see me. I don't know." You know what I mean? So, what year did you get to the WWE? Was it in '89?
It was. I believe it was like January of '90.
90. And how did you get there?
Larry Sharp. What happened was, Barry Hardy trained with Larry Sharp at the Monster Factory. Well, to go back and tell you the story, Barry Hardy and I were friends, okay, for a long time. And then he was married, and then I got married, and we moved apart. We used to live in apartments, like mine was here and his was here. You know what I mean? And we moved apart from each other, and I used to always go, "Man, wrestling's on. I gotta go watch. I ain't watching that fake shit, man. I ain't watching that stuff. That stuff sucks." Right? So I didn't see him for like 3 years. Well, fast forward that 3 years, I'm watching TV and I go, hey baby, isn't that Barry? But like a lot bigger. He's all gassed up. I said, that's gotta be. And then Barry Hardy came across the screen. I was like, that's him, man. That's Barry. I said, son, I thought he hated wrestling. What happened was, a congressman we all know, Bill McCaffrey, gave him tickets to a show one day because he had standing reservations, front row, right next to the aisle where they come out. Barry went there. He said it was cool. And then out came Hulk Hogan. And I felt that electricity, and I felt that rush just from Hogan walking by. He said, man, I got to do this. And he found Larry Sharp's school, went to school, and learned how to wrestle. So when I saw him on TV, I called his mother. His mother said, Dwayne, he's home. That's pre-recorded. I was like, give me his number. So she gave me his number. He lived a quarter mile from me. I went over his house that night and started learning bumps on a concrete floor when we laid out like a 8-foot by 8-foot piece of carpet with a 1/2-inch piece of padding. I'm learning hip tosses, slams, everything. I wanted to be a wrestler more than anything. Man. He said, I will teach you. And I learned, and he's like, my God, Dwayne, you're a natural. Everything we go to show you, you got it. He said, let me take you up to Larry Sharp. Well, I could do something, if you've ever seen it, that nobody else could do. You know how they bring you in the hard way from the outside? Yeah. I could go all the way across the WWF ring, land, and then bounce and go out the other side. Right? Razor did it to me. I said, pull hard, brother. He yanked that thing. And you can see him in the match. He like goes, yeah. Afterwards, he's like this. He turns around. He goes, where is he? He's going all the way out the other side. Yeah. But we were up there doing a practice match. And Glenn Ruth and I, Thrasher.
Yeah.
We were beating the hell out of each other because that's the first thing Barry told me. He goes, dude, when they get you in the ring, they're going to chop the living hell out of you. They're going to see if you got what it takes. I said, well, you know me, Barry. He said, yeah, you love it. I said, man, we're beating the shit out of each other. And then he tags Barry in, and Barry punches me on the outside and goes, bam. Well, just as he did it, Larry and the Soul Taker. Do you know who the Soul Taker is?
No.
The Godfather.
Okay.
That was when he was like 380. And I mean a monster, man. A big old red mohawk.
I met him, yeah.
God,
I met him.
Gigantic.
Before Papa Shango.
Yeah.
I met him.
Yep. So they come walking out, and Larry goes, whoa, stop. And we're like, what? Now I'm freaking out now because here's Larry Sharp in front of me. You know what I mean? I haven't met any big name wrestlers yet. You see what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I'm like, God, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. I'm freaking. He goes, stop. And I'm like, I'm not up already. You know what I mean? And he goes, I don't believe I saw what I think I just saw. And we're like, what's that? And he goes, that flip inside the ring. Can you do it again? We're like, sure. So I get out there and Barry walks up and he starts giving me the punch. He goes, no, forget the punches, forget everything. Pull him in. Okay. Bam. I went, boom, and stood up and leaned on the ropes like that. I said, is that what you want? He goes, you're going. He goes, you can bump, you can go. And little did I know, man, my bumps they loved the way I bump. So I was on there all the time. Yeah, Mario, I remember one time I went in there and I was on 4 times in the first hour. You know,
no,
they
really?
Did night, they did main event, they did, you know what I mean?
Did Chief do that?
And remember when they used to pull the trailer in and that was the video trailer? I come walking by and Vince comes out and goes, you take your damn gear off. This is not the Dwayne Gill show. I said, yes, sir.
Oh.
But everybody wanted to work me. You know what I mean? Did Barry Hardy will tell you the same thing.
Did Strongbow do that? Put you on that many times? Was it him?
Oh, it was Strongbow and Gorilla and Renee and Blackjack.
Yeah.
We're always doing it.
I just want to point out, Maurice, that we are waiting for Lamar Jackson to come back because my man's got my team posted right over his shoulder there.
Oh, brother. I am.
I don't know what that means, but I'll just go. Yeah, sure.
It means the Baltimore Ravens
have been since they came here. I was a Raiders fan because the Colts left, so I became a Raiders fan. Had all kind of stuff Raiders. We got a team. I gave everything Raiders to a buddy of mine who was a Raiders fan. He goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "I'm going to be a hometown fan."
Hardcore. Listen, I left the Giants in 2015 for the Ravens. I was a Giants fan for 40 years.
And you know, it's really cool for me. I used to love the Giants. I always had a Jason Pierre-Paul shirt. Guess who's on our team?
Our team, Jason Pierre-Paul.
Yes, sir.
Well, last week's game pissed me off, but we're waiting for more.
We suck. But we
these Irish guys, they just know football to them is soccer.
Brother.
No.
Football we have our own football. Soccer is England's game.
We have a great team, but you got to take that offensive coordinator and go right out the door. How do you run 189 yards with 2 people in the first half and don't run nothing the second half?
My son-in-law was saying the same. He was texting me going, he's got to go. I go, this is bullshit.
Yeah,
it's frustrating.
The game before. This is the God's honest truth. Run. Then we start on 2-yard line. Run. A 10-year-old pass. Run. 10-yard pass. Run. All the way down the field. We're 2 yards from the end zone. Done ran. I mean, J.K. Dobbins, every time he gets the ball, he's running at least 8, 9, 10 yards. Every time. What do? 2-yard line? Let's throw 4 passes. Oh,
yeah.
I'm like, what the hell are you doing? Gee, they don't expect that, do they? What are they doing, man?
I don't know, man. I just hope they win this week coming up, man, because I want to make the playoffs. And
the damn Tom Brady couldn't help us out, that slug. This year he's a real slug, man.
He is. He needs to give it up.
If he'd have beat the Bengals, we'd have been okay.
Oh, well, Maurice, we digress. He's getting nervous over here. He's getting all fidgety and stuff.
No, I'm just looking at a few questions and I don't know what to pull up, but this is actually one.
Brother.
Go ahead, put it up.
This is what I was going to ask you. Do you remember I had Bushwhacker Luke on the other day and we talked about his 1991 Royal Rumble quick appearance? Same thing kind of happened to you in '99. So I was going to ask, someone has asked, have you been invited for the Royal Rumble in January, or would you like to be?
I haven't been invited. I would love to be. You know, and to be honest with you, you know what my worst experience in wrestling was? Do you remember the Gimmick Battle Royal?
Yep.
I was supposed to be in that. I was standing here. I was the last guy going out, and everybody I had put over all those years, Greg the Hammer, Anvil, Earthquake, Typhoon. I was going to double clothesline Earthquake and Typhoon over the top rope at the same time. They were waiting for me. They all said, Gil, we're going to wait for you. we're going to put you over this time. You're on top, man. We're happy for you, man. You've put us over so many times. Look, what we're going to do is when you come out, you just come in like a house of fire and start knocking everybody out. I said, really? They're like, yeah, man, just start knocking everybody out. And then when you get down to the last one, go over to the ropes, you go, ah, you know how I get up on the ropes? And the Sheik's going to push you over because he couldn't go to the top. I said, oh, it's great. That's great. And if you go back and watch it, you could see him 8, 9, and they're looking back. Where the hell is he? I was standing there and I could see the numbers on the curtain. 9, 8, 7. Bruce Pritchard stands in front of me and goes, Dwayne, I love this business more than anything. I said, me too, Bruce. He goes, but this is one thing I hate about it. I said, what's that, brother? He goes, you can't go. I went, what? This is WrestleMania. Literally, I said, fuck you. I'm going. I'll knock your ass out and go. They're out there waiting for me. I didn't care if I got fired. That's WrestleMania. I was going out there and have my WrestleMania moment. And that would have been it.
I never got near it, man. Good for you.
You know what I mean? I was did a lot of pre-shows and all that with the Executioners. But and I'm standing there, he goes, Dwayne, you know you'll be fired. I said, I don't give a shit, Bruce. I'm going out there and doing this. This is Wrestle freaking Mania, brother. And he goes, well, I just want you to know, you'll be fired. And I said, I know. And he goes, and so why? I said, you'll be fired? He goes, yeah. I said, why? He said, they sent me here to stop you. I said, seriously, Bruce, you're going to get fired. And he looked me dead in the eye. He goes, Dwayne, and you could see he was like kind of tearing up because he didn't want to do this to me. You know what I mean? Because I ain't gonna lie to you, man. I had tears running down my face as he's telling me this. I'm like, man, no way. And he goes, yep, I'll be fired too. I said, well, Bruce, I ain't costing you your job. And I put my arm around him and we walked away.
Who pulled the plug? Pat?
Hell.
Vince.
Pat Vince, not
Vince
Pat.
pulled it. Goldberg was coming in the next week. Remember, Goldberg came in the next week and they were afraid he
Yes.
I was so mad. I was so mad, man.
Now let me ask you this: Did
he was the light heavyweight champion? You were a light heavyweight champion for about 15 months.
WWF light heavyweight champion in the history.
Wow.
Of this stuff.
I
And
didn't know any of this.
Beaten, yes, sir. It cannot be beaten. 445 days, and I'm the only American to hold it.
Brother, you made some good money there.
Yeah, I did make good money, but I ain't gonna lie to you. I was I was a thousandaire hanging out with millionaires. I'm broke. You know how that goes, brother. I was young and dumb, bro. I wish I honestly made so much money I would not have to work today. If I'd have saved it and knew what I was doing. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like if I'd have been 10 years older when I started getting that money, I'd be well off now, man.
Yeah, man. You went a lot farther than I did, man. You got a big push too.
Oh yeah, nah, they took care of me, man. They took care of me, and Tony Gurria told me, he said, Dwayne, the funniest thing happened when they said they were going to make you light heavyweight champion, give you the belt. I said, what's that? He said, well, Ed Ferrar was pitching it, right? And he's like, man, look at this guy, because I did the Survivor Series just before. Remember? I was the mystery opponent.
Yep, which someone mentioned here.
And check this out. I'm sitting in the locker room. It's an hour before showtime. I'm playing cards with Thrasher. What's up, brother? How's it going? Mick walks up to me and goes, Dwayne, why ain't you dressed? I said, Mick, it's a pay-per-view. I don't get dressed. He goes, damn, they really are keeping this a secret. I said, what? And he goes, you're the mystery opponent. I said, what? He goes, yeah. Because when Howard Finkel called me, I said, Howard, it's a pay-per-view. He goes, Dwayne, I don't know. All I know is Vince told me, find Dwayne Gill. Well, I found you. And I said, okay, I'll be there, brother. And he said, yeah, you're the mystery opponent, man. I was like, what? He goes, yeah, Dwayne, you're the mystery opponent. I was like, oh, cool. So, I got ready to go out there. And when I walked out there, Vince gave me that big entrance, remember? He's a catastrophic injury. Here he is, the man, the myth, Dwayne Gill. And I swear to God, there was 19,000 people in there, and you could have heard a pin drop. They were like, you know what I mean? Not a person said nothing. So I'm walking out, and I'm looking up at the screen.
Oh, God.
and they're showing me getting beat by everybody, right? And I'm going, man, that's me up there. I'm talking to the fans. That's me, brother. That's me. And they set off pyro. Well, when they did, I dropped right down to the floor, like laid out. Like I got up. I said, I knew that was happening. I knew it. I knew that was going to happen. And they were dying, man. The fans were dying laughing, man. And then I got in the ring, did the job, and, that was it. Next day they said, look, we're going to, take you to Monday Night Raw, and Tuesday night we'll give you all 3 days, let you make some money for the TVs and all, I'm like, awesome, man. And Monday night I was sitting there, Jim Ross walked up to me and says, Dwayne, follow me. I said, yes, sir. So I'm following him, and you know how you can walk back underneath the bleachers and all that stuff. He's walking back under there, and I'm starting to go, okay, what did I do wrong? What did I do wrong, man? What did I do? You know exactly what I'm talking about, Mario.
Yeah.
And, oh God, man, what did I do? And he stops and turns around at me, and he goes, I guess you're wondering why I called you back here. I said, yes, sir. It's really jogging my mind. He said, well, see, son, we want to put the light heavyweight title on you, and to do that, we got to sign you to a 3-year contract. I went. I said, kiss my ass. I said, Undertaker, Paul Bear, Headbangers, where the hell are you? And I'm looking all around. And I turn around, and Jim's looking at me like this. And I went, you're not shitting me, are you, Jim? He goes, oh, no, son, that's a straight shoot. And I went, well, let me think about it. Yeah. And he goes, no, call your wife. I said, screw my wife, screw my friends, screw everybody. I want that contract. He said, well, calm down. Let me get one faxed to us, and you can sign it. And I was like, awesome. So as well as I do, when you're playing cards, you never fold a hand. Am I correct? In that room. I'm
Good
sitting
for
there,
you, man. Good for you.
Playing cards.
Good for you. You know
and
what?
He goes, here he comes, Dwayne. Here he comes. He's got a big handful of papers, boy. Oh, my God, dude, you're going to do it. You know what I mean? And Thrasher's like, so he pats me on the back and goes, come with me. I went, oh, do them cards just like that. Thrasher goes, hey, Dwayne. I turned around and said, yeah. He goes, you're going to need this. Throws me a pen.
Wow,
yes,
that's
sir.
fantastic, man. That's fantastic.
And you were only there like last year as well.
Yeah.
For the segment with, who was it? The Miz, wasn't it?
Yep. Drew McIntyre and all. We did the Drew McIntyre Goldberg thing.
Yeah.
I picked up Miz and Morrison were really cool too.
Yeah. Yeah. What was it like being there with no crowd? Because that was when everything was closed.
Going to be really messed up. Once you step in the ring, they had the sound so good you didn't even know there wasn't a crowd there. You just did your deal. It was because it had all that surround sound and everything. So they made it sound like the crowd was there and you know what I mean?
It really doesn't matter, Maurice, whether they're there or not. Once you step in the ring,
it's all forgotten about.
You don't notice them anyway. The only time I really noticed the crowd was when I was the first time I went to Madison Square Garden. I got in the ring and I did the whoa.
I did the same thing. Howard Finkel told me not to look up. The minute he told me not to look up, I went.
He told me not to look up too, and that's when I went, whoa. That's for sure. But anyway, what I was trying to say was, Gurria told me that Ed Ferrar's pitching the whole thing, and they showed the film of me, starting. He goes, this guy is just happy to be in the ring. We need people like that here. He said, Vince looked down and goes, holy shit. Dwayne Gill is going to be my light heavyweight champion. And with that, he said the whole room stood up, started clapping and laughing their ass off. They were so happy. I was like, really, Tony? He goes, Dwayne, I've never seen it.
Yeah.
And fantastic.
I was like,
fantastic stuff.
Yeah.
We need to talk about the Goldberg stuff as well, and how because like this is obviously the most probably Vince McMahon idea I've ever heard of. Of WCW doing well, Goldberg being on TV, and then you simultaneously.
I thought of everything. I did it all.
This was your idea.
I was doing it on the independents.
Oh,
a buddy of mine, Mark Osborne, said, Dwayne, I got injured. And then I wasn't wrestling for a while, and I was just coming back. He said, you want to have some fun? I said, yeah. He said, let's make fun of all the boys up WWF. I said, oh, it's going to be a blast, man. So I did the Undertaker. I wore a wig and everything. I did Stone Old Steve Boston, where I took full swimmies and made braces out of them. I had a walker and everything. I was like, I can't can't really get the finger because I was so old and everything. Fell off the corner every time I tried to climb up. You know, and then I said, and I did Gilberg, and I was telling Percy and Kane that, right? And Percy looks at me and goes, Gilberg. Oh, Dwayne Gill, you may have something there, boy. And I was like, yeah, right, first. No biggie, man. Okay, Paul, you got it, brother. So that night, every time I walked by him, because we were doing a house show, him and Kane would go, Gilberg, Gilberg, Gil. Well, the next day was TVs. So I go into catering, Mario, you know what I'm talking about. And I walk.
Great. It was great.
Huh?
It was great. Yeah.
Especially back in the day, man, we used to get swordfish and steak, unreal stuff. But I walk in there, I'm getting catering. All of a sudden, the whole place starts going, Gilberg, Gilberg. So I set my tray down, jump up on the table, I go, and everybody's. I thought that was it. You know, did the rest of the day, came home. 2 days later, I get a phone call from the office. Hey, man, what's this Gilberg thing? Oh, I did this. Well, we want you to be Gilberg. I said, I don't want to do it. And they're like, why not? I said, I just won the title. I don't want to lose my title. You know, I mean, I was Dwayne Gill won the title. That's what's cool. Dwayne Gill is the longest reigning light heavyweight champion, not Gilberg. Gilberg became out of Dwayne Gill. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So, where was I? Where was I? Where was it?
You got a call from the office about doing.
You got a call from the office.
Oh yeah, I got a call. So they said we want to do Gilberg, and I said, I got the boots and everything. I said no. I said I don't have black boots. They said don't worry about that. What size you wear? I told them. They said there'll be a pair here. I said awesome. I said I got everything else. They're like okay. I said but I don't want to lose my title. And they said okay. So how about this? And I said, what? And they thought this up right there on the phone. How about you only wrestle heavyweights? That way, you're light heavyweight champion. You can't lose your title. And the count begins 0-1, 0-2, 0-3, 0-4. You know? And I was like, fine. As long as I ain't got to lose my title, I'm for it. You know what I mean? And they had no clue what I was going to do. And the day of it, check this out. I'm walking around. It's about 2 hours before the show. And Vince sees me and stops me and kind of grabs my shoulder. You know what I mean? Looks at me and goes, ready for tonight, Dwayne? I said, yes, sir, Mr. McMahon. I'm ready. He goes, good. I'm really counting on you. Filled my pants with shit there, boy. I'm scared to death now. I don't know what the hell I'm going to do. Vince is counting on me. Oh, my God. What am I going to do? So I'm sitting in the locker room, and I'm like, oh, God. Oh, God. And if you know me, in the locker room, I'm always smiling, laughing, messing with everybody, trying to cheer everybody up, have a good time. You know what I mean? And Triple H comes in.
Question goes, here.
Go ahead.
No, you go ahead with that first, and I'll get onto it.
And he goes, Dwayne, what's wrong? I said, man, Hunter, freaking Vince did this to me. And I told him what happened. He goes, man, don't worry about it. And I said, why? He said, you're doing a spoof. Remember how we did the croc and everything? I said, yeah. He said, man, if you walk out there and slip and fall and roll all the way down the ramp, as long as you jump up and go, they're going to think you're supposed to do it. He said, you're making fun of the guy no matter what you do. They'll think you're supposed to. I went, oh, man, you're right. And took the weight right off my shoulder. You know what I mean? I was like, thank you, brother. So now I'm ready. And, man, I went out there, and they wanted me to wrestle Edge first.
Yeah.
And I said, if you're making fun of the guy, give me Luna. And Luna's going, no. Dwayne notices Raw, man. Because, back then, guys didn't wrestle girls. Mm-hmm. I said, Luna, can I be honest with you? She said, yeah. I said, don't tell nobody, but you can probably kick my ass for real. And Mario, if you know Luna, I'm not lying, brother.
Yeah.
I said, you can probably kick my ass for real, Luna, so I don't mind doing a job to you. She said, you want to? I said, yep. And the funniest part in the match was she got lost. And we ran into each other in the middle of the ring. And she goes, I'm lost. And I went, ball shot. And she dropped down and hit me, you know what I mean? Yeah, smack your ass. And I grabbed her arm real tight with my legs. And I went, oh, as loud as I could, and got louder and louder and higher. And she's going, let go of my arm, you son of a bitch, let go of my arm. I'm going, oh, and I fell over on my side, boom, in the middle of the ring. She's going, you better let go of my thing. I mean, I was ribbing the hell out of her. You know what I mean?
Oh, that's fantastic.
Oh, it turned out great. And then I wanted to do the jackhammers to finish, you know, get her up and then go, and fall back. Boom. 1, 2, 3. She wins. Well, I did that. The crowd went nuts, but then I had to kick out because Pat wanted her to splash me. And it kind of after that. But I'll tell you what, Pat admitted it to me in the locker room. He said, Dwayne, I was wrong. You were right. That jackhammer is your finish from now on. He said the crowd went freaking nuts. So I can't say enough, man. I love the Gilberg gimmick. Goldberg has I can't say 100%, but from the people I know, they say that Goldberg has a thumb on me. I can't have a doll. I can't have a shirt. I can't be on a video game. I can't do nothing.
Is that true? Like, how did you hear about that? And like, that's what people were asking about action figures and things like that.
Because I can get somebody in trouble. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's like, I have a guy. I'm broke. I live paycheck to paycheck, and I literally have a publishing company telling me, I will give you $500,000 down right now if you write a tell-all book. And I said, you can kiss my ass. Their friendship and everything means more to me. You know what I mean? Mario, you know what I'm saying. Back then, we were brothers. You don't do that shit.
Right.
You don't do it. No matter what, you do not do it. You know, because I could tell stories about people, yes, some that are still alive, some that are still dead. The ones that are still alive would probably lose their families and everything. You know what I mean?
Well, the thing about it, I have a rule. I've tried to be very careful. I've been approached and have talked about some pretty sensitive stuff as of late. But what I try to do is just reiterate what was already said. You know what I mean? Publicly. As far as the private stuff that I know and the stuff that's
here and that's where it's right.
Yeah, Maurice would have a curly perm by the time we got done if we
let
all that stuff. I don't let that stuff. That's not for me to say. It's not, you know what I mean? I don't do that. You know what I mean? Yep. But
I don't lie to you, man. I could use the money like no tomorrow.
Yeah.
No tomorrow. But I no way in the world would I ever betray those guys that put the you know what I mean?
Right. Now, did you ever meet Goldberg?
Yeah.
You worked together in 2004, I think.
Grabbed me, picked me up one hand at the rock concert.
When did you obviously met him backstage before that though, or did you meet him before then? Like, what kind of interaction did you have?
When he first came in, I met him, and I walked up to him and I said, I imagine you've been waiting to meet me. And he goes, oh, yes, I have. He goes, that's all right. You got something coming to you. And I said, that's all right. I'll hand you your balls back after the match. I mean, yeah, he's a big dude. Probably just stomped the hell out of me. But
well, did he really want to give you a receipt or something?
That's why I never wrestled him. Everybody says that's why you never wrestled him. Vince saved your ass, buddy. He wanted to kill you. Oh, they said he put his foot through a monitor and everything, man, the first night I came out. And he was down. Oh, he lost his mind, man.
It's a good angle, though, man. It's a good angle.
Dude, it's wrestling.
It's a good rib.
It's a joke, brother.
Yeah, it's a rib. Yeah, it's great. But it's great, and it's a moneymaker.
If he wouldn't have been so damn
It is.
A Gilberg, Goldberg doll pack, wrestling figure pack, how much money would that have made? He could have said, hey, I brought the toughest guy, my tag team partner, and bring me out. You know what I mean? And just have me for a match or two as his tag team partner, my little buddy. I
agree.
You know I mean? Oh,
yeah. I agree.
I've asked him right to his face. I said, Bill, please, let's have this match. I said, I'll make $100,000, you'll make $1 million, and I'll be able to retire. Nope.
Any reason given? Just no.
Nope. But yet, when he first came back, remember when he first came back? I saw him like a week or two before he came back. And we were at a wrestling convention, the big event in New York. I said, I want to talk to Goldberg. I went down and the two promoters, the guy who brought me in, the guy who brought him in, got together, and I went down into the room where he was. Well, as soon as he saw me, he pressed me over his head and everything like that. Dropped down. We took a couple pictures together and all, and that's when I asked him. He said, and he even said to me, he goes, brother, thank you. I said, for what? He said, if you wouldn't have been out doing what you're doing the last 10 years, I wouldn't have got this run. Thank you. I said, good. Well, you're in a good mood. Let's have this match, brother. You can kill Gilberg, end his career, end everything. I'll make $100,000. You'll make $1 million, and we'll be cool. Nope. And that was it.
Yeah.
Nope.
Did you ever go to Pat with that? Did you ever go to Pat with that?
No. Everybody knows I wanted to do the match. I told Stephanie, Hunter, all of them, man. I'm like, man,
I'm surprised. I'm surprised Vince never went for that match.
You could right now do it, and it would work on a pay-per-view. Even though everybody knows Goldberg would kill me, you could put it on a pay-per-view, and it would sell. It would raise the rate. They would buy just to see that. You know what I mean?
WrestleMania moment.
Yeah, you could bring back GTV. Little did they know, the Gilberg TV. So I'm doing little things to make fun of Goldberg all the time. Catch him doing something, maybe have the recording, he's taking a pee and you can't, you only see his head and you hear him fart or something like that, and show it on TV. You see what I'm saying? And just make fun of him. And then, bam, he catches me one time filming him. You know what I mean? Ref out, break it up, and then there's the match right there.
Yeah. Here's an old one for you. Whose idea was the Toxic Turtles in 1993?
That was Barry and mine. Barry and I carried those suits up there for like 6 months and never did it. So one day I said, Barry, I'm putting them on. He goes, really? I said, yeah, I'm going to put it on. He said, well, I got to go out. I got to wrestle. I said, go ahead, man. I'm going to put it on and go dance out in the crowd. He said, all right. So I put it on, went out into the locker room, started dancing around and everything, and did like the Shemp thing where he lays down on the ground and runs around, you know what I mean, lays on his side. And then when I stopped, I went like this, like I was break dancing. I can't break dance, so I did that. And I went like this, like I was break dancing, and there's a pair of shoes right in front of my face. I went, oh no. And I stood up because I could tell by the shoes it was Vince. Stood right up. He's laughing his ass off. He goes, who's in there? And I took the hood off. He goes, I should have known, man. I should have known. Because I told Vince one time, I said, look, Vince, I don't care if you dress me and Barry as two turds and call us get your shit together. We just want a job. So he saw it. He said, you got another one? I said, yes, sir, I do. He said, you're wrestling the Turtles next match. I said, can't, Mr. McMahon. He goes, and why is that? I said, Barry's in the ring wrestling right now. Look on the monitor. He goes, huh. I said, Jesse dressed fast. I was like, jeez. Oh, okay. Barry came through. I'm like, come on, Barry. And here he is wet. Now we're trying to put on a suit with all these muscles in it and everything, which fit really tight. If you weren't completely dry, that wasn't going on. So there's 3 of us trying to yank this suit on, and we got him all dressed. And I'm trying to tell him the match we're going out and everything. So we went out and did the match, But yeah, that was all our thing. We had the suits made and all, but it was a little too much. They looked a little too much like other turtles.
Like the Teenage Mutant.
Hold on, I'm going to show you something.
I was just going to grab up a picture of it, actually. I was looking for one to show you, Mario.
We had new heads made. We still got the gimmick. We had new heads made. These are made by Disney. Check them out.
Oh, wow.
Look. Oh, they're cool. Wow. They're really good ones, man. They look great.
I can see the potential legal trouble with them. All right.
Oh yeah. See, Stan, we were going to do the big event with these, and they put a cease and
desist.
Cease and desist.
Thank you.
Yes.
Stop. In other words.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, sir. And it was it. Yeah, they made them stop advertising and all. I want you to see this, man. It looks so good. The chin strap's in a way. There we go.
I have a pair.
Right here, like this. See it?
Yeah.
And we always had the thing that if we wanted to look taller, you could raise it up like this and look out the mouth. And then it's set up there. Gave you 6 or 7 more inches of height.
Wow.
Wow.
I think I can get a picture of it here now.
We love them.
Of you guys in the ring.
Oh, do you?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, there it is, right there.
Yeah.
See the muscles and all? We were as big as the bulldog in them things.
Yeah. I could see where the legal problems came from there with that one.
Oh yeah. Vince loved it, and I think was going to give us a shot, but I do believe as it hell said
maybe because Mario Dwayne was telling me before that Mario pitched a Super Mario gimmick to Vince and he didn't go for it.
I told him I wanted to be.
You could have got that.
Mario Mancini, the tool belt, the hat. The finish was an ass bump from the top rope.
You would have looked just like him, brother.
Wouldn't have done. He wouldn't do it. He said he'd have to pay Nintendo.
Yeah, and probably pay a lot. You know what I mean?
He wouldn't do it. So I have to say this though. And I wish people can feel this, but as Dwayne's talking, I have all these feelings coming through me. And you could only get those if you were there.
Yeah.
How liberal and more open it was from the early 90s to the late 90s. Dwayne wasn't like that when I was in.
No.
It wasn't like that when I was in.
Oh, really?
No.
Oh,
no.
Wide open, man. Wide open.
So you were in the Attitude Era.
Oh, yeah. The whole Attitude Era.
The whole Attitude. See,
yes,
no,
sir.
I was there 8 months prior to WrestleMania 1.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I broke in 8 months before WrestleMania 1.
Uh-huh.
So it was not like that at all. I mean, as you're talking, I'm like, wow, I might have talked to Vince. I could count on one hand the interaction I've had with him.
Oh, he literally, when we were jobbers, just jobbers, we would be at the hotel or whatever, and if he walked by, he'd be like, "Hey, Dwayne, hey, Barry, how y'all doing?" All right, this is Vince McMahon. This is the Vince McMahon I knew. I was there 3 years. Okay, hi, Mr. McMahon, bye, Mr. McMahon. That's all I ever said. One day, it was almost Christmas, and he come up to me and stopped me and said, "How you doing today, Dwayne?" I said, "Good." He said, "Happy holidays." I said, "Same to you, Mr. McMahon." He said, "How's Lillian?"
Nope.
And Emmy? And you just had little Dwayne, didn't you?
Nope.
And I'm looking at him. I'm going, "Yes, sir."
Didn't happen.
Mr. McMahon, can I ask you something? He said, "What's that?" I said, "How did you know I was married and had 2 kids and their names?" And he patted me on the back. He said, "Dwayne, that's my job." And walked away. You know what I mean? But there was times Barry and I were at the hotel eating breakfast or whatever. He said, "Hey, got room, guys?" "Oh, yes, sir. Sit down." That's why I try to say, everybody says Vince is a prick, Vince is an asshole, Vince is a dick. The only reason I can say that Vince is a dick, a prick, an asshole is this. You're working along, you're making tons of money that you never knew you could make in your life, and everything's going good and everything's fine. And then Vince says, "I'm done with that gimmick. You dick. Yeah. You're taking all my money, you son of a..." But he's really not. He's just a businessman, dude. He's just a businessman. And that's what I mean, I've interacted with, I've never, like hung out with the guy or nothing like that, but I've interacted with him a lot of times when me and Rock were doing stuff. I'm like, "Rock, let's do this." And he's like, "Well, let's go into Vince's office. Hey, Vince, Dwayne wants to do this." And I'd have to show him what I want to do. And he's like, he'd laugh and go, "Yeah, do it. I don't care." But yeah, he was always a really nice guy. Shane, I mean, you remember Shane was a little kid and all, man. We used to put him in trash cans and everything.
Jesus, I don't even know if Shane was born yet when I was.
I'm saying he's a little kid, man. Him and Steph. People are like, and what's Stephanie really like? Is she really a bitch? I said no. The only way to explain Stephanie was, the debutante at college that has the ponytail. "Hi, how are you doing? How's it going?" That's Stephanie. Just so nice and polite and kind. It's unreal.
Yeah, it was never exposed.
Nah.
we only saw Vince, and the funny part is, Vince only came to TV and to pay-per-views, which I was never at, but rarely. I mean, you'd rarely see him he'd come down between TV tapings, and he'd be there before the show.
Oh,
but never would see any kind of interaction or anything. He would talk to Hogan. He would talk to Savage. He would not small talk with anyone. I never seen him.
You got to remember when I was there, did they have the gorilla position then?
Of course.
Yeah, and Vince was sitting at the gorilla position.
Yeah, it wasn't called the gorilla position because Gorilla was actually sitting there.
Yeah, it was gorilla there.
Yelling at everybody.
Dude, but he made sure that show ran smooth, didn't he?
He did, but I think I want to be right here, because lately, if you know what I mean, I made a quote that I was working with, and it wasn't for me. I saw it on a show or a documentary. I was working with Bad News Brown, and Andre had come out to shake hands. They introduced him back, and when I was watching, I said, "Hey, that's me," in the ring, and they said Andre came back after he made the Princess Bride, and I had said that in my last podcast. Everybody jumped all over me. That can't be true. That's the wrong timing. Mario doesn't know what he's talking about. I'm not the one that said it. You know what I mean? So it's like, but anyway, back then it was just well, when I broke in, George Scott was the booker, not Pat. It was George Scott, Strongbow Skolin, Gorilla Monsoon. Rene Goulet was, at the time, he was doing double duty. He would work and be an agent. Tony Gurria was still a worker. He wasn't an agent yet or anything. So, but I think I'm correct when I go,
come on
in. And Dwayne, you survived.
Yeah.
Listen to me when I say you survived. Listen, I believe in 1994, there were no more jobbers. There were no more squash matches on TV.
Was it 94 they stopped that?
Yeah, there were no, so for you to survive, that means you were over.
Yeah, yes, sir. I love it.
Wow, what a career, man. What a career. I wish I had his career.
Yeah, a lot of people
say it great.
Me is because I kind of focused my career after Mike Sharp, if you remember. I made sure everybody heard me.
Very good friend of mine. Yeah,
I did something that went into their mind, like Mike.
I was really close to Mike Sharp.
He was awesome, man. He's a quiet dude and quiet. I know a couple times he got locked in the damn arenas working out.
Well, working out, yeah.
A couple hours before his match and work out the rest of the night.
I felt so bad for him, man. He started dating this girl in New Haven, Connecticut. I'll never forget the phone call. I was home, and my mother had answered the phone, and she goes, "Mike Sharp's on the phone." I go, "Really?" Okay. So I picked the phone. Mario. I go, "Yeah, Mike, you okay?" He goes, "No." I go, "What's wrong?" He had started dating a girl in New Haven. He goes, "I just came off the road and my apartment's empty."
Oh.
She took off and she took everything.
Fuck.
Do you know where she went? I go, "I'll get a hold of her girlfriend, man. I'll try to do everything I can to help you." But yeah, man, sucked. That was terrible. But Mike was a good guy. This back in the 80s, starting from like 86 or 87, 88. That's the way it went, Maurice.
Yeah.
It was either, listen, and this is the biggest juice I had. This is the most juice I ever had. So Altamar had left the wrestling school and I took it over. So a guy would come in, and if I was talking to Strongbow or something and I left the guy alone, Pat would go, "Who are you?" And he'd say who he was. He goes, "Who trained you?" He'd say, "Mancini." Go, get dressed. That's fine.
Yep. Same thing with me. Who trained you? Dwayne Gill. All right, get dressed.
Get dressed. Yeah, right. Great. It was either me, Larry Sharp, or Killer Kowalski. If it was one of those three, they'd go, okay, get dressed. That's the biggest juice. I used to bring guys to TV all the time.
Well, that's what happened. I was up there. I did like 3 years under Larry. And then they told me right out, we're not calling Larry no more. We're calling you, because I own 2 Baltimore Monster Factories. You know, me and Larry became good friends, and I own 2 Baltimore Monster Factories.
Wow, good for you, Dwayne. Look at this.
Yeah.
This guy did a lot, Maurice.
Yes.
Did half his training at my school in Baltimore. You know, D'Lo Brown, Headbangers. We all hung out and trained together and everything.
You were also, Dwayne, similar to Mario, like there in the early days, one of Undertaker's first opponents back in the early 90s as well. And Mario was his first ever opponent. I don't know if you know that.
I remember when Taker came in and I was talking to him. I was like, hey, Mark, hey, because I knew him as Big Mark Callis. You know what I mean? I was like, hey, Mark, what's up? He said, oh, not much, Dwayne. I said, what are you doing up here? Because he was down WCW. He said, they got me doing some dead man gimmick or something. He had like 10 drawings. We were looking at him and all. I'm like, oh, check it out. And one of them was the Grave Digger, they were going to call him. I said, they can't call you the Grave Digger. He goes, why? I said, that's my name. He goes, what? The Independents, man. We're the Lords of Darkness. This is the Night Stalker, and I'm the Grave Digger.
Oh, you opened up a story now. Now you opened up a story. So it's the late 80s. And these 2 guys come in from New York, from the Bronx or Queens, wherever they were from.
Can I stop you real quick? I was just telling him he couldn't be the Grave Digger. Of course, he could have been if he wanted to be.
Yeah, but listen to this, Dwayne. Listen to this. Sal and
Are you talking about the two big guys?
Sal,
the Undertaker. They were the
Undertaker. They came to my wrestling school, and they came up with a gimmick. I go, what's your gimmick? He goes, we're the Undertakers. And they patent it. They put a copyright on
it. Vince said, I will give you so much money for that name. And they said, no, we'd rather go on the road for 2 years.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Okay.
Yep.
Vince would have just paid them. Bam. They didn't have to take a bump.
Hey, when you love the business, you love the business.
You're telling me?
Yeah. When you love it, you love it.
That's why Barry and I came up with the Executioners again, so that we could wrestle. And then if somebody wasn't there, hey, I got the mask. All right, pump out there again is the Executioners. There was a house show.
I think the brother's name was Val. Sal and Val Puccio.
Yep. Yeah.
And what happened? What happened in the end then with the name?
What?
Well, they gave it to Vince for getting booked for 2 years.
Oh, yeah, they did. Yeah, the Undertakers, they gave it to Vince for getting booked for 2 years.
Wow.
Vince was like, hell yeah, no problem. And I think they worked, 5 times?
I think he may have made his money back on that name. What do you think?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's close. I don't know. Undertaker really didn't become much of a star.
I tell you, man, it was. God bless you, brother. You broke into the business at the right time, because it was really stiff when I broke in. It was.
Oh no! Everybody was so light. No, I
don't mean like that. I mean the atmosphere.
Oh.
And as far as, I mean, the camaraderie was still there and everything. The business was the business, but let me just put it plainly to this. There wasn't a lot of communicating with the office. I mean, a lot of the conversations you're given is like, it's conversation with the office, the agents, with Vince. There wasn't like that at all.
Wow.
You stayed away from the office. If you listen back in 84, 85, 86, if you were in constant, if they were seeing you bullshitting with the office all the time, you were a stooge. They marked you as a stooge. You're a stooge.
And everybody.
You must be a stooge for the office. People stood away from you. You know what I mean? So I'm enjoying this because it the contrast. Very different. Very, very different. Very.
I loved it up there, man. We had so much fun. We travel with everybody. I travel with George Steele, Sergeant Starr. I'm talking road with them. Sergeant Slaughter, Tony Gurria, you name it, man. I've traveled with them,
There was one question there about someone asking what was it like working with Bob Holly, that you said something on Renee's podcast lately or something, but he was pretty stiff, wasn't he?
What it was is when Bob first came in, his first match was me.
Okay.
He beat the shit out of me, dude. I mean, he kicked my ass. I'm not going to lie to you. And what they're talking about is when I came through the curtain, I got through Gorilla and I literally just picked up a chair and I'm standing there, man. I folded the chair up. I'm waiting for him to come through the curtain. I'm going to lay his ass out. And back in the day, that's the way it is, brother. You kick my ass out, you're getting a receipt, right? Yeah. So I'm like, Sean goes, what the hell you doing? I said, I'm hitting this motherfucker, man, when he comes through that curtain. He goes, what? And I said, he beat my ass, Sean. He beat my ass. And Sean grabbed me and, if you're going to do that shit, don't do it in front of Vince, you dumbass. Because Vince is right there, Gorilla. He said,
yeah. You hear a lot of stories about him. We've lost him for a moment, but hopefully we can get him back anyway. Do you know Bob Holly, Mario?
I don't, but yeah, he's right there.
He's back.
He's right there.
Yeah, I'm back. My wife called.
Yeah, it's okay. We won't keep you too much longer. Another few minutes, and then we'll wrap up.
So what was I saying?
Just about the Bob Holly story.
You were back with the chair.
Sean got him and chewed him a new ass. You know what I mean? I was like, man, don't do. Sean literally helped me with Mabel too. And man, when the mission first came in, Mo set me in the wrong spot, but Mabel still did his finish anyway. And dude, he yokoed me in the middle of the ring with no ropes, no nothing. He jumped off the top rope and flattened my ass. I thought I was dead. I ain't gonna lie.
He done the same to Rene Dupree, allegedly over. I think Rene was driving his car and got a speeding ticket. That's the old story. Rene didn't tell me directly what it was.
You know how that goes. But anyway, I never knew. Then they asked for me and Barry because they knew we were the jobbers to do the job they needed. You know what I mean? I got back, man. I fell. Man, Barry helped me back here. I fell across the table. I'm laying down. Oh, I can't breathe. Sean's like, what happened? I said, dude. And I mean, the whole locker room was like, oh my God, when he did the bump. And when I came through, they were all like standing there with big eyes, like, is he still alive or what? And Sean literally slapped him. What the hell are you doing, man? You can't do that stuff, and chewed him a new ass. Sean stood up for me a couple times, man, and we were never tight friends or nothing like that. I mean, if you know Sean, you know what I'm talking about. He kind of
only know Sean with Marty. That's it.
Oh, well, he kind of stayed with the bigger names, He didn't really, but he took care of us, though. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it was really, actually, he went over to Chief and said, Chief, I think you need to peel off a few $100s for Gil. He took a hell of a bump there. And Chief came over and peeled me a few $100 off, I'll tell you another thing. You want to know something about Vince? I was up there. I was there for a week and a half on the road. We were doing TVs. I come back after my match. I go to my wallet. All my money's gone. $4,600. I'm freaking out. I'm like, that's my rent. That's everything, man.
Brother, you keep your poke in your sock.
I'm like, I'm going to kill somebody. I'm killing somebody, man. And Vince comes in and goes, what's the matter? I said, Mr. McMahon, somebody took my money, man. I wouldn't lie to you, man. I'm beating the shit out of somebody at night. He goes, calm down. And he walks away. Next thing I know, here comes Chief, $4,600. Vince comes in and goes, sorry that happened in my locker room, sir.
Wow. Never.
Yeah. And that's the prick. That's the asshole.
Never.
You know what I mean?
You're talking about a guy I don't even know.
Yep. He said, I'm sorry that happened in my locker room.
Brother, anytime anybody wants to go on YouTube and watch my matches, know that my money is in my boot every single time.
Well, how do you put $4,600?
I split it up between two boots.
It's like this thick, dude.
I understand, man, but you know what I mean? I always. I
learned, to believe me, that money you went to the ring.
Wouldn't happen. It wouldn't happen these days.
Right.
Wouldn't happen these days. All these cards. No cash.
Yeah, and if it didn't go to the ring with me, one of the boys that I took up there got my fanny pack. Wear that.
Well, that's good. Yeah. You know,
Yes.
yeah. Wow, what a hell of a career, man. Jeez.
Yeah, I love it. I had a ball, man. I did. I love wrestling.
I wish I had your career, man. I wish that's fantastic. Jeez.
Yeah, I remember you big time, you know.
Yeah, but brother, you go into when I was in, there was a big separation. I mean, I had guys like Tito and Bundy and John Studd. You know, they were Ted DiBiase, Kurt Hennig. These guys, they didn't treat any differently. It was on the same level. But then you had a bunch of other guys that really just made you feel like a jobber. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about.
I never ever experienced that. I knew why I was there, and that's why I say I was a jobber. I was not enhancement talent. To me, enhancement talent is a valet, is a manager, is something outside. You got to enhance the match because the talent isn't good enough to enhance the match enough. That's why you put a mouthpiece with them. You know,
I feel like Dwayne.
I just say I'm not a human Viagra. Don't call me that.
Right. I jobber. I was a jobber. What's it called when you lose?
I was a job. I was a jobber. You talk to Barry you call Barry Horowitz a jobber, you're in trouble.
Oh, I know, and I traveled a lot with Barry Horowitz.
He doesn't like that. He doesn't like that.
We just had this debate about 2 months ago, me and Barry.
I'd feel disrespectful calling one of you gentlemen a jobber because I don't work in the business.
Morning.
I think it's different, you know?
Wow. Yeah, but, you know, I mean, Dwayne had, wow. I thought I had memories. Jeez.
Yeah,
Dwayne,
you got to have him on again.
That's what I was going to say. We might do this again next year. And good news, next year is not too long away.
One of the things, I'll tell you one of the funny things that used to always get me. Sitting in the locker room, Randy Savage sitting there. And you know Randy Savage. He's like,
very well.
Like, man, maybe we'll go to the bar and we'll do this. And he's doing the hands and talking exactly like he did in his gimmick. And I'm sitting there and I'm smiling from ear to ear. And he'd look at me and go, what? And I go, Randy, you're you. That's the funniest fucking thing I ever.
That's why I tell people. I'm like, a question's always been asked to me is anybody really their gimmick? I go, yeah, Randy Savage.
Randy Savage. Yep. Randy Savage. Really? He really, let me tell you, man, I'm going to go to 7-Eleven and pick me up a coffee, and then we're going to go over. I was like, God, man, it's so fun.
How many conventions are you doing?
I do probably 20 a year.
You ever do anything for Scott Wilder?
Don't know.
Not yet.
No, I don't think I did.
I mean, you're probably hotter than hell at those conventions. You got to make
I love it, man. I have a ball there. I have a ball there.
You must make a ton of money there.
Yeah,
man.
like you were talking about all those names. That was the coolest thing to me is the Godfather, my good buddy. Everybody, Ted DiBiase, Ron Simmons, Kane, you name them, they're my buddies. You know what I mean? I've traveled so far with them, man, you know? And everyone you can think of, Bradshaw, Bob Holly, Al Snow, Blue, you know, everybody you can think of, man. The Undertaker used to come up to me and go, it's me and you tonight, brother. Like, what do you want to do? I'll see you out there. Yes, sir. I wrestled him so many times. He goes, you know what to do. I'll see you out there.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So my son is sitting here waiting for me.
Okay.
I don't
we're gonna
short, but
no, we're not short. We're gonna wrap things up now, Dwayne. And look,
hey, and
pleasure.
I don't have a problem in a month, 2 months. I have no problem, man, doing it again.
Yeah, we'll catch up again.
Man. Gotta do it again. I got to hear more stuff, man. You got to do it again.
I'm all for it, brother.
The difference is night and day.
And I have a book written. I just don't have
okay.
It is written all the way up to Gilberg. And then I'm going to write the second one from Gilberg to now.
Nice.
Mm-hmm.
We'll get you back on very soon, man. Look, we'll talk to you later. Thanks a million for today.
Happy
Christmas,
guys. Thank you, Mario.
Merry Christmas,
man. Pleasure to meet you, brother.
You too, brother. I had a blast listening.
You're one of the reasons I am what I am. You know.
Man, I had a blast listening to you, man. Really, congratulations.
Do you have my phone number?
No, but I'll get it. I'll get it from Maurice.
Yeah, I'll
Yeah.
give it to him. Will you please?
Oh,
No
yeah.
problem.
Let's talk. If you're ever in Maryland area,
Yeah.
let me know, man.
I did Baltimore. I did a convention there last summer.
No,
Yeah.
you did the one for damn it, I can't think of Chad. You did it for
Yeah.
Chad, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Roma and I went. Me, Roma, Danny Davis, Tugboat, guys like that. So,
yeah, I love Tugboat, man. He's awesome. He is. I love
definitely, we'll do this again. And yeah, definitely.
All right, sounds good, guys. I really got
Okay,
All right.
Dwayne.
story.
Good night.
Hey, thank you, guys.
All right, brother. Incredible.
Yeah, there he goes, and we're still live. So this is the last show of the year. So I just wanted to propose a toast to you.
I just drank.
I have a shot of Fireball here. I'm gonna have.
You know what, Maurice? I feel so bad. I feel so bad that you just said that because I make a cheesecake out of Fireball. I make a hot cinnamon cheesecake. Oh yeah. I would love, but by the time it would get to Ireland, it would probably be, a pancake. But last show of the year. Happy holidays to everybody. I been through a lot of stuff in 2022, but Maurice, I have to say, I think the best thing that happened, one of the best things that happened to me in 2022 is that we hooked up.
Yeah.
I
think it's actually 2021 we hooked up.
Really?
I think so. It's hard to know after the last few years with this pandemic and everything, but I will research it to when the first Mario Mancini show was. But I think this is a good little thing for us going forward, especially because the first two guests that we've had, you didn't even know them. We did Randy and Dwayne.
Listen, I'm ready to have a similar conversation with Wayne. Like, I thought he just did what I did. This guy had a strap. He
did for the first few years. Then there was a bit of a gap, and then he came back in the late 90s, and all that kind of stuff kicked off.
Absolutely amazing.
Yeah,
absolutely amazing. But good year on Cheap Heat, and hopefully, I got some things in the fire that are hopefully going to work out for me.
In the fire, big time.
I have something in the fire. I'll share with you when we're texting each other, so you'll understand when I take a shot and when you look at me like I have three heads. When I go, Itiamo Angelini, I'm going to tell you, I'm going to show you what that means. Itiamo Angelini, and you're going to go, I understand. Yeah.
I before we wrap up, I had a really fucking funny idea for a show the other day. Do you know what I was going to do? I was going to do the Mario Mancini show, and I was going to find people from around the world whose name was Mario Mancini and get them all in together.
There's a very famous guy in Italy. I think he's a film producer.
Yeah, I don't know. I can't find out too much information on him. He directed Frankenstein in 1980, though, so that'd be good to get Mancini versus Mancini.
I think I got one on my
on your friends list.
I think so. I might or it might be Michael Mancini. I don't know. You know what the funny part is the first time he friended me on Facebook, he came in, he goes, yeah, I'm a real Mancini.
Oh, he knew.
Thinking that I came up with the stage name. I said, yeah, kind of so am I, because that's my mother's maiden name.
What did you say to him? It's all a work.
No, I said, well, I am kind of too, because that's my mother's maiden name before she married my father. She was Helen Mancini. That's why I took it as a wrestling name, because it was her last name. So I'm not a fake Mancini. I might be a fake Mario, but I'm not a fake Mancini. So,
excellent, man. Look, I will talk to you over the next few days. Have a great Christmas.
You too, man.
It'll fly by, and we'll be in 2023 then.
You got it.
Show Mario this emoji comment. Okay.
You know what he's putting that on?
No.
He's saving. My brother's putting that on because when I say Itiamo Angelini, he has seen it. So that's why he's making those faces, because if I show you, you will make that face too.
Okay. Good night.
You got it, brother.